This is your first video for HTML and CSS basics, right? So what we're going to do, the first thing we need to do is download a code editor, right? We need to go online and download a code editor we're going to use to create web pages, right? So to do that, you're going to go to just on Google, just type Visual Studio Code and it's code.visualstudio.com. That's the site. Click on that link and so you're gonna click on download, right? You're going to click on download. Once you download it, install it, right? Install it. I'm not going to, I already have one, right? So throughout these lessons we're going to be using Visual Studio Code, right? But if you do prefer another text editor, go ahead and use that one, right? So now the next step would be, right now we're just setting up our PC for web development. Now you can close this, and then what you're going to do now is you're going to go anywhere on your PC. It can be your desktop, it can be anywhere, right? And create a folder, right? Once you have your VS Code installed, right, just follow the installation instructions there. It's simple. Once you have it installed, you're going to go to a folder, any folder on your computer there, where you're going to be doing your lessons, right? You're going to go there, or you can even create a folder on your desktop, right? So once you have your folder created, let me create one here, right? So we'll call this first lesson, right? First lesson, like that. Go inside that folder, right click, and you'll see once you have it installed, when you right click on this empty folder, you'll have this option to open with code. This is the VS Code that you just installed, right? So you're gonna go on and click on open with code there, right? Click yes, I trust, and then this is your VS Code. Now when you first open it, you're gonna get a welcome message here. You can just close that. You'll have the option to close it somewhere here on top, and then this panel here on the right, it'll be on this side here, right? It'll be on your left, right? And then you have these shortcuts here. We're going to be using these two mostly. So the first one is, this is to create a file, right? So you click on that. Now we're going to create an HTML file. So you're going to go and I'm going to call it index.html, right? You don't have to call it index, you can call it whatever you want. The important part here is the .html extension, right? That's the important part there, .html, right? You can call it whatever you want as long as the name that you're using has no spaces. If you need to separate for whatever reason, use an underscore or a hyphen. Let me see if it takes a hyphen. Yeah, you can use a hyphen which is not recommended. Just use the name it whatever you want, just make sure you use only letters in your name. But like I said, the important part here is the .html part, right? What it means is we are creating an HTML document, right? So the second shortcut here is to create a folder. that one is used to create a folder, right? I'll show you how to create a folder in a later video, right? So right, for now, since this is our first video, what I wanted you to do, guys, is to just install VS Code, have it running, create your first HTML, or rather open a folder using VS Code, and then create your first HTML file, right, like so. So once you have that, VS Code has something called emet, EWMMET, right, emet, which is an extension. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use emet to create just a boilerplate for this page here. Hit tab or enter, exclamation point, let me do that again, it's exclamation point, right, exclamation point, and then enter. You're going to get this structure here. Don't worry about what all of these things mean right now, we're going to talk about that. So what you want to do is change the document here between the title tags. You want to change that to maybe, I don't know, first website, right? You want to change that to first website. And you want to come in here and say, I don't know, like hello world, right? Hello world, like so. Save. The shortcut for saving is Control plus S. Control S, right? Or you can come up here and click on save. Go to file and click on save, right? And then once you have your document saved, right? Before we open it on the browser and see what it looks like, you're gonna go over to extensions. Remember, this panel here will be on your left with you guys, and then on extensions you want to search for live live server, right? And then pick the first one by read week day, just pick that one, and then you guys will have the install option. Install it, right? Install it. Probably after you install it, it will want you to refresh, and then you refresh. By refresh, I mean you're going to have to close and reopen your VS Code. So what this does is it gives us the option to once you have it installed, right, it gives us the option, right, to whenever you save, like with this document here that I just created, whenever you save this document, your changes are reflected automatically on the browser. You don't have to go back and refresh the browser. Let me show you an example. If for instance I right click here and say reveal in Explorer and open it on Chrome, if you don't know, if it doesn't show you your default browser on your machine, right, let's go back here. If it doesn't show the logo for the default browser, right, on your machine, you just right click the file, go to, where's this now, open with, and then choose your browser here. Choose whatever browser that you prefer here. But for web development, I would recommend you use Google Chrome and Firefox, right? Anyway, this is the page we just created, right? Hello world, as you can see there, first website on the tab there. This is the page we just created. But now if I come back here and add just let's add another exclamation point, 2, let's add 2. If I save and go back, you don't see the 2 extra exclamation points here, right? But what you need to do is to see them, you need to refresh. So that's where live server comes in. If I open this, if I right click on my document here, my HTML file, and I say open with live server, and I go okay. With you guys, what will happen when you say open with live server, né? Once you do that, it will automatically open this page on a web browser like so, right? It will do that automatically, but because on my machine there's something wrong, I have to come up here and type it, localhost 5, hit enter, and you see I see the same thing. The difference now is, now that I've opened this page using live server, whenever I make changes to the page, for instance, I'm going to add a paragraph now. This is a paragraph, like so. If I save this and go back to the browser, you see now changes are reflected automatically. Every time you save, changes will be reflected automatically. You don't have to come back and refresh the page. Your changes will be reflected immediately as soon as you save. So that's it for this lesson. I'll catch you guys on the next one.